Welcome to our presentation on legal, ethical, and professional issues in information security. Today, we will explore the critical aspects that every information security practitioner must understand. Understanding the scope of an organization's legal and ethical responsibilities is crucial. To minimize liabilities and reduce risks, information security practitioners must stay informed about the current legal environment, keep up to date with laws and regulations, and watch for new and emerging issues. Laws are systematic rules enforced by the state, carrying the authority of a governing body. Ethics, on the other hand, are moral principles that define acceptable behavior, governed by individual, legal, or professional norms. Unlike laws, ethics do not carry the authority of a governing body and are based on cultural mores. Policies are guidelines that describe acceptable and unacceptable employee behaviors, functioning as organizational laws. They must be crafted and implemented with care to ensure they are complete, appropriate, and fairly applied to everyone. Laws set out standards, procedures, and principles that must be followed. While ignorance of policy might be acceptable, ignorance of the law is not. Laws can be categorized into civil, criminal, private, and public. Civil laws govern relationships among individuals and organizations, criminal laws address harmful activities, private laws regulate personal and commercial relationships, and public laws manage government agencies and their interactions with citizens. Organizations have a legal obligation to ensure their employees do not perform illegal or unethical acts. If an employee causes harm, the employer can be held financially liable. Due care involves implementing security policies, procedures, and standards to protect information. It is essential because failing to take due care can put others at unreasonable risk of harm. Due diligence is the investigation or exercise of care expected before entering into agreements. It ensures that actions are done correctly and efforts are made to protect others. Jurisdiction refers to the official power to make legal decisions and judgments. Courts have the right to hear cases if a wrong is committed, and long-arm jurisdiction extends across the country or around the world. Governments have been leaders in developing and implementing information security legislation. Such laws contribute to a more reliable business environment and a stable economy, with specified penalties for breaches of civil and criminal law. The Computer Fraud and Abuse Act of 1986 and the Computer Security Act of 1987 were foundational in countering computer-related threats and protecting federal computer systems through established security practices. The National Information Infrastructure Protection Act of 1996 increased penalties for certain crimes based on the value of information and its purpose. The USA Patriot Act of 2001 provided law enforcement with broader latitude to combat terrorism-related activities. Privacy is a hot topic in information security. Individuals and groups have the right to protect their personal information from unauthorized access. Aggregating data from multiple sources has made creating comprehensive information databases possible. Information aggregation involves assembling data from various sources, such as web cookies, phone surveys, and loyalty programs, to create comprehensive profiles. Identity theft occurs when someone steals personally identifiable information to impersonate the victim. The Federal Trade Commission oversees efforts to coordinate prosecution and increase victim restitution. The Economic Espionage Act of 1996 protects intellectual property and trade secrets. The Security and Freedom Through Encryption Act of 1999 provides guidance on encryption use and public protection from government intervention. The Copyright Law of the United States protects original works of authorship, extending to electronic formats. With proper acknowledgement, portions of others' work can be used for educational or library purposes, but not for profit. The PCI Security Standards Council sets performance standards for organizations processing payment cards. These standards enhance the security of customer account data by addressing various security measures. Federal computer laws mainly apply to federal information systems, with limited applicability to private organizations. Information security professionals must understand state regulations to ensure compliance. When organizations conduct business on the Internet, they operate on a global scale. Professionals must be aware of the laws and ethical values of various cultures, societies, and countries. Due to the political complexities and cultural differences, few international laws cover privacy and information security. The Computer Misuse Act of 1990 defined computer misuse offenses. The Privacy and Electronic Communications Regulations of 2003 focus on protecting against unwanted or harassing communications. The Police and Justice Act of 2006 updated the Computer Misuse Act, modifying penalties and creating new crimes related to unauthorized computer acts. The Council of Europe Convention on Cybercrime created an international task force to oversee Internet security functions and standardize international technology laws. It aims to standardize technology laws across borders and improve the effectiveness of international investigations into technology law breaches. The World Trade Organization created the first significant international effort to protect intellectual property rights. This agreement covers adequate protection of intellectual property, enforcement of these rights within borders, and settling disputes between WTO members. The US version of an international effort to reduce copyright, trademark, and privacy infringement, especially through the removal of technological protection measures. The European Union's Directive 95/46/ACE increases protection of personal data and its free movement. The United Kingdom has implemented a version called the Database Right. Many professional disciplines have explicit rules governing ethical behavior. However, IT and InfoSec lack binding codes of ethics. Professional associations and certification agencies work to maintain ethical codes of conduct, which can prescribe ethical conduct but may not always ban violators from practice. Cultural differences make it difficult to determine what is ethical. Issues arise when one nationality's ethical behavior conflicts with another's. Scenarios include software license infringement, illicit use, and misuse of corporate resources. Education is crucial in expanding ethical perceptions within a population. Employees must be trained and kept aware of the expected behavior of an ethical employee and other information security topics. Unethical and illegal behavior generally stems from ignorance, accident, or intent. Deterrence is the best method for prevention, using laws, policies, and technical controls. Laws and policies deter behavior only if there is a fear of penalty, a probability of being apprehended, and a probability of the penalty being applied. Many professional organizations have established codes of conduct. These codes can positively affect behavior, but many employers do not encourage joining these organizations. Security professionals must act ethically and according to the policies of their employer, professional organization, and society's laws. The Department of Homeland Security protects the physical and informational assets of the United States. The Directorate of Information and Infrastructure responds to attacks on national information systems, while the Directorate of Science and Technology supports homeland defense through research and development. The National InfraGuard program collaborates with public and private organizations and academia. It serves members by maintaining an intrusion alert network, a secure website for communication, sponsoring local chapter activities, and operating a help desk. It contributes to the free exchange of information to protect information resources. The National Security Agency is the nation's cryptologic organization, protecting U.S. information systems and producing foreign intelligence. The U.S. Secret Service is charged with detecting and arresting individuals committing federal offenses related to computer fraud and false identification crimes. The Association of Computing Machinery is the world's first educational and scientific computing society, focusing on the ethics of security professionals. The International Information Systems Security Certification Consortium focuses on developing and implementing information security certifications and credentials. The Information Systems Audit and Control Association focuses on auditing, control, and security, with a membership of technical and managerial professionals. The Information Systems Security Association is a non-profit society of security professionals aiming to bring together qualified practitioners. The SANS Institute's Global Information Assurance Certification focuses on 4 security areas: security administration, security management, IT audits, and software security. These areas have standard, gold, and expert levels. Laws mandate or prohibit certain behaviors in society and are drawn from ethics. Ethics defines socially acceptable behavior based on cultural mores. There are various types of law, including civil, criminal, private, and public. Many organizations have codes of conduct or ethics. Organizations increase liability if they refuse to take measures known as due care. Due diligence requires organizations to make a valid effort to protect others and continually maintain that effort.